one of the questions I always ask myself, even, like countries like Brazil, why these countries move towards right?
Well, it's not just Brazil, it's most of the world is
Mm,
experiencing this.
mm,
I suppose there are a series of reasons. One is that the center or the liberals have basically, to a large extent, um, been demoralized and also delegitimized, because the liberals were the ones who pushed neoliberal politics over the last 25, 30 years. Also the right, the conservatives, also the old conservative, traditional conservatives,
mm,
Margaret Thatcher and so on,
mm,
Ronald Reagan. These are old conservatives. They plus the liberals, the Clintons, the Blairs, the Cardozos, the Manmohan Singhs, they
mm,
pushed the politics of neoliberalism, which increased distress for a lot of people. So that's one issue, that the liberal wing has got less credibility now.
mm,
Second issue is that there are a lot of terrible changes taking place in the world that are bewildering people, with the climate question, with issues of social and family lives being disrupted by rising inequality, unemployment and so on, the lack of old forms of social belonging that are crumbling, and this has led a lot of people to turn to newer forms of social life.
mm,
In South America, for instance, the rise of evangelical Christianity, Pentecostalism, for instance, with its prosperity gospel, which makes the argument that even you can get rich. And by the way, the Muslim world also has its own
mm,
version of
mm,
this in Tablighi Jamaat, for
mm,
instance.
mm, mm,
Where you can also do well if you are a good family man.
mm,
Tablighi Jamaat stuff is rooted around family. If you are a good family man, you can get prosperous.
mm,
If you're poor, if you're failing in your business, it's because you're not a good family man. So patriarchal attitudes link up to self help attitudes, don't blame the system and so on. This is the social basis for the right.
mm,
It, it's unlikely for like Tablighi Jamaat people to become people of the left, or even liberals. There's a strong patriarchal piece to this,
mm, mm,
even the Muslim Brotherhood, its
mm,
resurgence in parts of West Asia and so on. It's all about the family and the father and the role of
mm,
the father to give a kind of stability in an unstable world.
mm,
This stuff is part of the social foundation of the rise of the right.
mm,
And I don't think we've really come to full terms with this.
mm,
Um, but yeah, and also, obviously the weakness of the left plays a role
mm, mm,
in it. But that's not enough. It's really these sociological shifts
mm,
that I
mm,
think we have to register.
mm,
The rise of it's not even a reaction to the rise of feminism, because feminism is not that powerful. It's more a reaction to the kind of capitalist process of the kind of breakup of the family.
mm, mm,
That sort of structural process by
mm.
which family members have to migrate. you know can't think of a family from any part of the world which doesn't lose people to migration.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
in the UK they may not call it migration, but the very fact that if I'm in a house, there's two parents and three children, the
Mm,
chances are that the three children don't live with the two parents after the age of 18 or 20 or whatever.
mm,
Either they go off and they go to college and they have a
mm,
kind of that kind of life, or they go and get a trade and they move into their own apartment. This idea that the family lives together and that there's a kind of authority structure and that there's regular meetings of the family,
mm,
Sunday meals or whatever. People are moving further and further away as
mm,
transportation improves, as job prospects decline in where you grew up.
mm,
So this natural process of the breakup of the family has given a kind of impetus to the right to argue for a kind of reinstatement of the role of the father, and
mm,
if they're slightly more liberal, of the parents,
mm,
that kind of thing. Yeah.
mm, mm.